welcome back to Unfashionably Late. I'm Rob.
And hello, shoppers. I'm Maddie.
Today's episode is one we've been especially excited about because we're joined by a true standout from the Drag Race universe, the dazzling, quick-witted, and the practically perfect in every way Down Under alumni who serve fashion, comedy, and pure nerve on season 2 of the Aussie offering of the global pop phenomenon. But Molly's story goes well beyond the runway. Since stepping off TV's main stage, she's continued to build a bold career that blends performance, personality, and a sharp point of view on drag as both an art form and a cultural force. Now, she delivers performances that feel both nostalgic and fiercely current, whether commanding a packed club, hosting with quick wit, or popping up where you least expect her. Molly proves that a spoonful of sugar and a hell of a lot of drag makes everything go down fabulously. So get comfortable, turn the volume up, and join us as we welcome to the pod the practically perfect in every way, Molly Poppinzz.
Hey,
Oh,
Molly.
hello. Oh my God, thank you for having me. It's Molly here.
You are
Welcome,
our
welcome.
very first guest as well.
Oh my God, the first guest. I mean,
You
that
are,
does seem correct. Yes, yes.
Yes.
you are,
Wait,
you are
yeah.
popping our cherry.
Oh, I'm just popping in for a quick chat.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being Unfashionably Late podcast first guest. Now, fans know you as Drag Race Down Under season two's fabulous third alternate, robbed in my humble
Yeah,
opinion.
absolutely.
I'll
Um,
take it. I'll take it.
but tell me, how did it all start? How did you first start in drag?
I mean, like, honestly, like, I'm gonna say it. Like, I'd always kind of, been attracted to, the girly things, this and that. When I was like a teenager, I was like, dressing up in mummy's closet or whatever. But it really took like watching Drag Race, like, as a late teenager in my early 20s to like kind of be like, oh my God, this is cool and I want to do it. So like you could say that I'm like a Drag Race like baby boomer. Like, sure, I'll take it.
So you started as a result of watching Drag Race. So you're that generation. It
So
could
the queen that actually kind of inspired me to start was Adore Delano. And so
right.
like early in my career, I was like very kind of like edgy and punk, kind of what I'm like, kind of what I'm rocking now. But I don't do this kind of look very often. I'm more, more glamour, more of a bimbo. But I was kind of like, as I started drag, it was kind of a bit more edgy, a bit more alternative, kind of like rock chick aesthetic. But it was baby and it was busted. So there's a difference there as well.
Huh. So did you start here or because you did a lot of work in Canada as well, didn't you?
Yeah, so when I started like we're gonna say when I started dabbling with drag, I was living on the Gold Coast. So I would like go out and drag every now and then. Like I was mainly a bedroom queen, trying to like build the confidence and practice so I could like go out in the club. I'd go out every now and then. I wouldn't perform. The Brisbane scene back then like terrified me. Like and just doing drag in general terrified me. So I never performed, but I dabbled. I went out. I didn't start performing until I moved to Vancouver, Canada, early 2017. So that's when I got like my start. So I debuted in Canada. So I'm kind of a Canadian queen at heart.
Do you think
So
that
what
Canadian kind of experience gave you a bit of a leg up actually getting on Drag Race Down Under?
Absolutely. So like I think coming up in the like Canada scene in Vancouver, there was a lot of like drag baby competitions, a lot of just drag competitions. So like when I was there for 2 weeks, I was there. I didn't know anyone. I had a little bit of drag with me. I knew that I wanted to like really start it, really get into it, thinking like you know new scene, like new start, new me. Like let's just dive in. Like no one knows who I am. And there was this like competition there that was happening like when I got there. So it was Vancouver's Next Drag Superstar. So that was happening like 2 weeks after I moved there. So I just signed up. I got in, had no idea what I was doing. It was like a 5 week competition. It was like so intense, like, and honestly, doing it, I'm like, low key, I think it was more intense than Drag Race, having to do that, just like knowing nothing. The first night, I was like the first to perform, so I was like shitting absolute bricks. I can't remember what I did, but like, I remember I performed from Iggy Azalea. I remember that much, but I was just adrenaline, blank. But I ended up making it to the finale, so I did all right for myself. And then after that, that just kind of pushed me into the drag scene. And then within a month, I was already like working for like bookings and like tips. And definitely in Canada, like working for tips like really kind of elevates you to that point quicker. So yeah, it absolutely helped my career.
So is that the main difference, do you think, between Canadian drag or sort of North American drag and Aussie drag? The fact that you are working for tips, so you have to interact with people more?
I mean, it's like, so if you're like over there, if you're booked, you get paid your booking fee, but it is a lot lower because like than when we get paid here, because you do get tips, but if you're shit, you're not really getting tips, honey. But it does really like push you to like really push yourself and like put on a good performance and like this and that. And also in Canada, like, if you're not booked for a gig, you just message the show host, message the venue, be like, oh my God, like, I would love to, get up tonight and just do like a spot number. So a spot number would just be for like tips. So you could really get yourself out there more and perform. Like, and a lot of shows would be just kind of open stage just for tips. So it gave me and a lot of other girls like chance to like practice and just do a lot of drag. Yeah, everywhere.
Do you
Right.
find that as a performer of your caliber that well, you put a show together and it's a show. Do you find that the tipping culture kind of interrupts the delivery of that kind of performance aspect? Like you're actually like stopping to, take the bills and
Like, yes and no. Like, I feel like yes, but like if you know how to kind of work it into your number. I know that there's like a couple of local shows in like Newcastle that they've had their kind of drag dollars, so it's like fake money, and like that they tip the performers. And a lot of the times it's like you're just watching these drag babies just like get up, and then everyone's throwing money at them and they don't know what to do, so they're just walking back and forth grabbing money. I'm like, that's not giving me a show. That's not putting on a performance. But if you can kind of like, work it into your performance, like, and also the people who are tipping should know when to like put their money up. So like, you come out, do the first verse, do the chorus, and then people should start putting their money up. And then, second verse, go out and, grab a few. As you grab some, like make eye contact, make a connection to the audience. I feel that's how work in tips into a number.
You've got to edge it, haven't you?
Sorry?
You've got to edge the crowd a bit first, haven't
Oh,
you?
oh, absolutely, absolutely. And like, even if you see like a few people put their hands up with some money like early, like you make them wait. You make them wait. Be like, I will come to you when I'm ready, but you're gonna keep that money up, and I'm gonna come grab it. And after I grab it, you're probably gonna want to give me some more. So and that's how you
Like,
do
someone
it.
who's boss.
Don't let it interrupt the actual number, because like at the end of the day, you are putting on a performance, you're putting on a show, and yeah, do your
So of
thing.
course, so of course you mentioned Newcastle, and I was a Newcastle girl originally as well, and you're back there now, and you were in Newey when you got onto Drag Race Down Under. Did you come back to do Drag Race, or you came back and then auditioned for the Aussie?
So, so when I come back to Newcastle, it was like I'd been in Canada for like it was almost just under 3 years, and like my visa was running out. Like I was like extending, and then I'm like, oh no no, I have to go home. Like I can't stay in Canada anymore. Like they're gonna kick me out. Um, so I come back, I think 2019, and I was like, obviously. I want to get into the drags, and I kind of scoped out the scene, see, you know, who was about, who was doing this, who was doing that. I ended up messaging Timberlina because she was kind of the one about town doing a lot of shows and stuff. So I just messaged her, and I kind of come out a few times in drag. And then I was like started getting like some gigs in Sydney and doing Timberlina shows. And like my name was getting out because I was like, I felt like, oh my God, I had made such a name for myself in Canada. And like coming back to Australia at Newcastle, I'm like, oh shit, like no one knows who I am. Like I gotta work myself from the bottom again. But like I'm not at the bottom because I've got this whole resume of like what I've done in Canada. So like work way from the bottom again, but you like know your self worth and like yeah. Fast forward, so I was doing that for 6 months. My name was kind of starting to get out, and then COVID hit, and then we were just doing drag at home.
Yeah, right. Now, before we get too far into Drag Race Down Under, fill me in, Molly. What is the status of your NDA with World of Wonder?
Right now, I believe that has expired. Yeah.
Five. So nothing is off the table. So my
Brilliant. Okay, over
You
to
know,
document C.
I believe, yeah, I have not signed a new one. I would love to sign a new contract if, World of Wonder is listening. Yeah, I would like to sign a new one and, be on another thing. But yeah, I can say some things, I guess.
Okay, so was RuPaul actually in the room?
No, she was green screened in. Like, she was not, no, of course she was there. So, like, that's the question that I get asked a lot of the time. Like, the first question is always like, oh my God, was RuPaul green screened in, or like, yeah. And I fuck with people, so I'm like, oh yeah, she was green screened in, like we didn't have the budget for her. But no, truth is, like, green screening RuPaul in would have taken more money than actually, like, flying her out to New Zealand. So yeah, she was very much there. There is scenes where we are in the same shot as her. There is not many because just our workroom was so small. And, like, when you put, like, 10 drag queens in there, a RuPaul and all the cameras and crew, the shots are quite limited, quite small. So yeah, it's not a lot of shots with RuPaul,
So
but she was there.
how is the vibe with the other girls? How does it work in reality? Are there do alliances form? Because you and Hannah became very friendly in your season, and we love little hands
We love the
in
hands.
fashionably late. So are there alliances? Are there enemies? Is there one queen that none of you can stand? How did it all go down?
I mean, so getting onto Drag Race, I was like, again, a lot of people didn't know who I was. It was, we'd been doing COVID drag or whatever. So I knew Hannah not too well. We were, like, kind of acquaintances, like Instagram friends. You'd message every now and then. So when I knew Hannah was on, obviously I'm like, okay, so someone, like, I actually know. So obviously I gravitated towards her. She was like my Hobbit sister. We kicked it off. We had fun. We kikied. But, like, I think our cast was fairly, like, we were all so excited to, like, be there. We were the first, like, season of Down Under that got on from, like, an open casting call. Like, we weren't scouted, so we were the first to, like, do audition tapes and, like, prove ourselves to get there. So we all were like, we are the 10, like, that got chosen. So we're all super happy to be there. Obviously, super happy to get out of, like, all the lockdowns and everything. So we were all very happy. There was some real tension, some real fights. Minnie Cooper caused a little bit of drama. Pamara Fifth and Minnie, they fought quite a lot. And there was, like, little fights here and there. Half of it was played up for the cameras, and then some of it I think was a bit real.
Now, did you feel, because there was another newie person on the show, and that it was the fabulous Judge Reese Nicholson. So Reese is a newie boy,
Newy boy, yeah.
feedback as well. So did you and Reese find that Novocastrian bond?
Oh, we did, but then he didn't like my video about Newcastle. Like, in I think it's episode 6, when we had to do the Hometown Honeys, and we had to do, like, an advertisement for Newcastle. He did not like my ad. He said it wasn't very Newcastle. But I disagree, and everyone on the internet, and people in person have told me that my video was very Newcastle. So I think that Reese just hadn't really been back to Newcastle for a while, so. But no, we did bond. We did bond over, like, when we could chat. Um, he wasn't meant to talk to us really, but, like, when we could chat, we'd be like, oh, like, reminisce about, like, like, this place and this place, and we'd talk about the G and, like, all of that, and so and a person from Newcastle can always reminisce a bit the good times in
We just want to
Newcastle.
gravitate towards each other, don't we?
Yes, and we just seem to find each other. Like, wherever we are, we just seem to find someone from Newcastle, and it's usually because we're all in the smokers at a club in Sydney. Like,
100%. So look, you had a great run on Drag Race Down Under season 2, and you were one of the fan favorites. Tell me, does Heartbreak in the City by Steps featuring Michelle Visage still trigger you?
What? Sorry, what was that? I just tell it. Okay. You
Tell us about
you
the
know this one. You know this one. Like, I had to lip sync a Michelle Visage song in front of her. Like, we had to pretend that we liked the song. Like, Hannah said, "Oh, great song, Michelle." I don't think we were both vibing it. Yeah, like I don't I don't hate the song, but it, to me it wasn't a very lip syncable song. But like, Michelle, she's lovely. Love Michelle. Steps are camp, that's nostalgia. Um, but yeah, it wasn't my favorite moment because I went home to that one. I lip synced to Tina Arena and I stayed because, like, good song, slayed that one.
Yeah.
Well, that was the
But
thing. It was literally the second to last episode anyway. So you were in my mind part of the final four because every other season of Drag Race has usually four contestants right up to the last second. So it was a
Well,
bit for me. It was a bit weird that they took it down to three at that
you,
stage. So
yeah, you never know. Some seasons they just kind of do that. So like
mm.
after episode one, when I come in and I surprisingly like won the first episode, I did not see that coming. And like as the episode started going along, and I was like, I was doing well, and I was like kind of scoping out my competition, and I was like doing the math. I'm like, you know what, like. I think I can take all of these bitches. Like, I think I can get to top four. And then maybe like as each episode, you're like, oh my God, have I got another one in me? Have I got another one in me? And then like the pressure gets a little bit more. You kind of get in your head a little bit. But I set out to be top four, and I achieved that. But unfortunately, it was just a top three season that year. I would have loved if they, kept both me and Hannah, and it was a stunning top four. But that was not my destiny, child.
Yeah, but you know what? The funny thing was is that throughout the eight episodes of that season, you were the narrator of the show. Hannah would
Do
chime
you
in,
reckon?
but,
I don't think I was. A lot of
but then
people
she
say this, but I don't think I was.
well,
I
I
think
I
Hannah
always
was.
I always paid attention.
Right. I'm like,
Yeah.
I think Hannah was. I'm not Hannah Conda, right? I know we get mistaken a lot for each other,
No,
but
well, no, but the
yeah,
thing is that Hannah would just say two words and then laugh, and
that is
then
true.
do
That
her
is true.
laugh,
It's the
and
capital.
you'd fill in the blanks. So yeah, you were
Yeah.
the narrator.
Love that. I'll take that. I'll take that, baby. Yeah. But also, it was like, you said I was like in the, I got eliminated the seventh episode out of eight episodes. I remember like my main drive was like, oh my God, I want to get to the end. But like part of the reason was like, I didn't want to have FOMO of like, oh my God, what's happening? If I get eliminated, what's happening for the rest of the season? Like this and that. But when I got eliminated, I was like, oh, well, there's only like 2 more days worth of filming. So like, I'm going home now and the other bitches are going to go home in like 2, 3 days. Like, and I'm like, I know what happens in the last episode. They sing a song, they do a dance, they cry at like a baby photo of themselves. And then, that's that. I'm like, honestly, like finales are kind of boring to me. But so I was like, okay, look, I was there for most of it, so I'm happy with that.
What would you have said to your younger self?
Oh my God, that moment on the show is so cringe, and I hate it every time. Um, like I say now that I would say just like something funny, keep it light. But when you're on Drag Race, I don't know, something happens and you're isolated, you don't have your phone, there's all these emotions. Like maybe I would say something, emotional and cry because they broke me several times and I cried several times. I don't think any of it really aired though. So yeah, they could have had me looking like a hot full booby mess, but they didn't. They were nice with the edit.
Awesome.
so you got eliminated, season finished. The bookings start to come in, and I think people incorrectly assume that just because you're on a season of Drag Race, you start to get work coming out the wazoo. But how was
Yeah.
it for you? Because you did get a fair bit of work after the season, didn't you?
So I got a lot of work, which was great. Even like before, like between filming and it airing, like it was all on Reddit, it was all on the internet. Everyone knew everything, and we had to be like, "Oh my God, I don't know what you're talking about." But had a lot of work between airing, like filming and airing, and people get me while I'm cheap, kind of thing. Before that announcement comes out and up my rate. It did help that I had agency reach out. Pretty much when I got back from filming, because again, everyone knew. So I had these agency reach out, Seismic Talent. They got me a lot of work. It was great. They had a lot of connections. So yeah, I got a lot of work, and it was a very, very kind of busy year and a half. Like
So
right
with
up
the
until like World Pride after DragCon, like it was busy time. I was everywhere.
I know with the US kind of thing, the contracts are always spoken about by the fandom online and lots of guesses of what it is and everything.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that World of Wonder didn't kind of tie all of you down to, what was the rumor that, they tithe you like the the Hillsong Church where they take X
Mm.
amount percentage of your
Like,
booking fees?
so like with the contract, there's like kind of like a year. So your contract's kind of there for like like when your season starts, and then a year after the last season, last episode airs. And like there's a lot of things that you have to just like email World of Wonder about. Be like, hey, like they like you can just take the work, this and that, but like anything that has like TV appearances or like this and that, like maybe just like message us through anything that has like more than like like 3 or 4 other like drag race girls on it. Like they say to just like like ask them just to get these gigs approved. And it was just like a quick little email. They usually responded pretty quickly, and they're always like, yeah, that's fine, do that. Yeah, and then like if they didn't respond to something, you just do it anyway, and just ask for forgiveness,
Always
and
there
like
for the
it was chill.
Awesome.
Yeah. So look,
Okay.
as drag queens, I mean, I know when I was a drag queen back in the dark ages, doing shows on the Arc,
Mm.
we used to get you used to get asked to do lots of really weird and wonderful bookings. And let's face it, once we're in a face, we'll try to make as much money off that face as we can.
Mm.
What is the weirdest booking you have ever done?
Oh my god, the weirdest booking. Oh my god, I have to think about this because I've had some weird ones. Like when it comes to like hens parties, private gigs, I absolutely despise them. Like I just don't do them. I hate them. I leave the emails just on red. I'm sorry if you're trying to book me, like unless you're like saying like a big money for that. I'm probably not going to do it. Oh my god, the weirdest one. I don't know. It's like coming. Like I'm blanking right now. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's worked everywhere. Um, so what sort of drag do you like watching?
drag that I like watching. I like watching like stupid, like campy drag. Um, so like I love like a lot of queens in Melbourne that just do like a lot of funny mixes, a lot of comedy. That's what I would do in Canada, and that's the drag I kind of live for. I don't get to do a lot of that. But yeah, funny drag. Also, I love watching someone that you know like a really like stunty pussy queen like going in and doing all the tricks and death drops and like stunts and all that. Like we see it on Drag Race and people are like, oh my god, that's boring, like they all do that. But like for me personally, I can't do that. So like I like to go see drag that like I can't do. You know what I mean? So like if a queen's like doing a triple fucking backflip into a split, and like I'm like, work, bitch, like I wish I could do that, I couldn't. So like I actually love watching all the stunty queens.
Oh, I could never have done that sort of drag. I mean, if I tried to do it now, I'd break my back as it is.
Yeah.
And I always say, back in the day, if Drag Race was a thing in the late 90s, I would have gotten on, but I would have been first off.
No, I think you would
I
have at
would have.
least made episode 2.
No, I reckon I would have been first off. But look, you are still working all over the country. What's next for Molly Poppins?
Oh, honestly, probably shave this beard off and get like back into the actual drags. Yeah, don't let this beard fool you. I hate bearded queens. Like, just be personally, but I didn't want to shave my beard. Yeah, no, I do have a few things coming up in Newcastle. Yeah, it's like I'm gonna be honest. Like, it's been a bit dry for the queens out here. Like, and I think that's like across the board, across the pond kind of thing. So, I like any opportunity. I like to try and do it, and yeah.
And that's one thing we've been saying on the show from the start, isn't it, Rob? Get out and support your local queens. Go out and see some
Mm.
Yeah.
local drag because they work just as hard as the queens that make it big and do it on Drag Race. Um,
Yeah.
so regular viewers of Unfashionably Late podcast know that we like to try to include our red carpet and red flag segment, which is basically our hit and misses. But as you are our very first special guest, and it's not just Rob and I gushing and moaning about things that we normally will gush and moan about,
Yeah.
let's do it as a rapid fire quick answer segment. So will you pop our cherry as our first VIP guest and
Oh.
red carpet, red flag with us?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. I'm scared. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just
Okay.
rapid fire.
Now,
All right. So saying when you're on the main stage, someone says, This look tells a story, but the story's confusing. Is that a red flag or a red carpet?
I would say red flag. Like if they don't get it straight away, like they're not into it. Like
Okay, red carpet or red flag, a runway reveal that clearly wasn't rehearsed.
oh, red flag. We had one of those on our season actually. Miss Aubrey Have. Shout out to Aubrey Have. Yeah, she'd really rehearsed it that well, or maybe she did, but it just was a mess.
Okay, the next one, calling yourself a fashion queen with zero sewing skills.
Oh no, that's red carpet. Like it. Not everyone is a seamstress. Like I mean, I want a design challenge, but like I can't fucking sew. Like I sewed a little bit, but like it's about stylizing and just knowing what's good, and what works with you.
You
And
could
knowing what to
actually,
do with a hot glue gun too. I
Oh,
mean, anything's
absolutely.
yeah.
But I pride myself on like how I stylize a look. Like so I think it could be fashion without having to make it.
I
okay.
think instead of calling them fashion queens, they should be called mannequins
Mannequins.
because you're just wearing the
Oh,
clothes.
absolutely. I can be a
Red
mannequin
flag,
myself. Look, like, have you seen a mannequin with these titties before? Like, no.
red carpet or red flag. On the main stage on episode one, a queen says, "I'm not here to make friends."
Boring, boot. Like, they all say that. Get a new. So yeah, red flag. Get a new catchphrase. Get a new storyline.
All right, when the judges are loving a look, but you know that it's totally questionable.
Red carpet. Fucking like, if they're loving it, just fucking go with it. Like, just be like, yes, yes, I agree. Actually, yeah, this is the most best thing I've ever worn. Yes, yes, agree. Don't disagree.
Okay, lip syncing for your life in a gown that you can't move in.
Ooh, I mean, that could be a red carpet, that could be a red flag. It like depends on the song. If she's a ballad, red carpet. If she's a dance number, red flag. Get the scissors out. I don't know, rip it off.
Just park and bark, park and
Pack a
bark.
bark, pack a
Yeah.
bark. Yeah.
Okay, a queen blaming the edit for everything.
Red flag. Yeah, like bitch, you said it. You said it. Like the edit can be yeah harsh, but red flag.
What about safe 3 weeks in a row?
Red carpet, coast, coast. I coasted most of the way.
Okay, what about a queen wearing the same silhouette every one way, but calling it a signature?
I'm gonna say red carpet because like sometimes that works for them and like work diva.
Yeah, well, Bianca Del Rio famously said, I
Yeah,
just bought the same dress in 16 different colors.
yeah. Like it worked for her. It didn't work so well for page three. Sorry.
I'm gonna skip to the last one, Rob, because it was
Yep.
my favorite little read that I added in when we were doing our pre-show meeting. Molly Poppins, for your last red carpet or red flag, Spanky Jackson winning season two.
No, red carpet. Like she did that. She did that. I mean, like that. Like maybe it should have been me, but no. Like that's our queen, Spanky Jackson. Like she was almost out episode one, right? And we didn't really know her, and we were closer to Foe, and we're like yes, Foe, and then like Spanky stayed, and we're like oh, like random, but then like we all got to know how just amazing Spanky is and how talented, how many things she can do. Like I can't speak ill of like, my crown queen from my season. That's my sister. So yeah, respect, kudos to her. Love you, Spanks. Yeah, love you, man.
She's done some great stuff since then too. She's done the Palmy Drag Fest.
Yeah.
She started the House of Jackson as a big performance space, giving lots of different people opportunities to try out material. So she sold her scepter in order to do
Yeah.
it.
But she got it back, so like work. I mean, like
Yep.
work. You get the money and the scepter. So, she won Drag Race, money and scepter. She sold the scepter and then kept the scepter. So I'm like, girl, she won Drag Race twice with that.
Yeah. Also, I've got one last question for you. If you were to go on a versus the world, wherever it is and whoever it's versus, out of all the queens in the Drag Race universe, who would you want to compete against?
Oh, like like with or like, oh my god. So like obviously I'd want to like compete with like a friend. I would love to compete on specifically Canada's Drag Race. I think it would like Canada's Drag Race versus the world if they, still are doing that season. I don't know. But it just makes sense in my storyline. And then, I know that like at least probably one of the bitches that they pick from Canada is gonna be one of my sisters or her friends. So I'd love to, compete against like Xana or Alona Verley, Beth, like any of those. I can't say one, no, because like all the Canada girlies there, they're my girls. So we'll just say Canada. Someone from Canada.
Awesome. So, whereabouts can people find you on the socials and all that kind of stuff?
So I'm at Molly Poppinzz with two Z's, and it's Instagram. I have the TikTok. I don't use it. I have a Twitter. I don't use it. So, but you can tweet me. If you tweet me something really funny, I will reply. I do see it all.
And
you're
are
doing
you
cameos
on
too,
Cameo?
right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You're doing cameos too?
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing the cameos, but they're annoying. I'm like, I got one. I don't get many cameos like these days. I got one literally over Christmas, like between Christmas and New Year's. I'm like, girl, I'm sorry. If you're watching who booked me, it expired, and I'm sorry. If you want to book it again, I've got more time now. But yeah, you can book me on Cameo. It is there.
Awesome,
And maybe I'll shave for that.
I was going to say sans beard. Look, Molly, thank you so much for being our first ever special guest on the
Thank you, Rob.
Unfashionable Late podcast. We adore you, and we can't wait to see you out in the clubs and all the venues. So make sure you follow Molly on her socials. Check her out at all the gigs. Incredible show. So, thanks so much again, and over to you, Maddy, for sign off.
Thanks, Molly. Thank you for joining us in episode 5 of Unfashionably Late podcast. We will be back in a couple of weeks. Stay tuned on our socials. We've got more special guests coming up. And this has been a hoot and a holler. Love you, Diva.
Woo! Love you, Maddy.
Bye.
The Unfashionably Late podcast is produced by Rob Manser and Damian Barrett. You can join us on our socials or visit our website at unfashionablylatepodcast.com.